Hi, another film I watched this week was Sisters, the 1973 suspense thriller directed by and co-written by Brian de Palma. Palma is now synonymous with his Hitchcock homages, films like Obsession and Phantom of the Paradise would follow, and then Carrie made him a huge name. And most recently, he was the first director in the Mission Impossible series and is now venerated as one of the great old men of the movie brats. But this was his first proper suspense thriller and a deliberate Hitchcock homage. It starts out as a rather cute seeming romantic drama with a couple who meet during the course of the making of a hidden camera game show. They enjoy their prize, they go out to dinner, they have quite a bit to drink, although they're bothered by the woman's ex husband, an odd looking man who gets thrown out of the restaurant. They go back to her place and they spend the night, and the following morning, the man's told that it's actually the woman's birthday and that of her twin who's staying with her. So, nipping out to get a few supplies, he has the idea of going to a bakery to pick up a birthday cake. However, when he gets back and presents it to her, he is suddenly brutally stabbed and murdered, and it's the woman and the mysterious ex-husband who have to clear up the mess, even though there was a witness, a woman across the street, an investigative reporter with a reputation for bothering the police department, who pursues the case and discovers a bizarre series of secrets. Now, that seems like a very full synopsis, but that's literally the first 20 minutes of the film. That's the core of what the movie is about, as it switches focus first from Margot Kidder's Dominique, a French-Canadian model with an accent straight out of Allo Allo, to the reporter across the street, Grace Collier, played by Jennifer Salt. The film makes great play of Hitchcockian styles, but it also creates some new tropes. There's extensive uh, uh, split screen sequences, and there's several long takes and suspense sequences that work extremely well. The trick of how the body is disposed of is very clever and creates a very Hitchcock style uh, level of suspense. You don't know if at any point the body is suddenly going to be discovered. Um, as the story goes on, the plot becomes increasingly far fetched and increasingly strange. But there's a degree of groundedness to it, the believability of a lot of the characters, particularly the Grace Collier character and the private investigator she enlists to help her, played by Charles Durning. They both feel like very real, believable people, and it makes the whole thing much more engaging and much more credible as a result. There are a couple of moments of humour that may or may not be intentional when the um, mysterious ex-husband is clearing up the mess. He slips and falls in a perfect pratfall, which I don't know if it's meant to be funny or if it's meant to just generate suspense. But it means that he then has a huge red bump on his head for the rest of the movie. There's also a bizarre dream sequence later in the film where various events are occurring in the foreground, while in the background are three white suited hospital orderlies in a row tap dancing perfectly, which I found hysterically funny um, as they continue to sort of remain in the shot no matter where the camera is going, and carrying on with their gentle little soft shoe shuffle. Um, but it's a really engaging film. I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure it stands up to particular scrutiny, but it was a great calling card for De Palma, and it really set the next 30 years of his career. There are great performances. I think, despite her very poor accent, Margot Kidder is very good. Jennifer Salt is terrific. I was interested to read that she never really had much breakthrough success as an actor. She carried on working for the next 15 years and then jacked it in, becoming a writer instead, and became part of Ryan Murphy's regular uh, writing and producing team, working on Nip Tuck, American Horror Story, and Ratched, the series based on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And she's now a very successful and award nominated writer producer. It's nice to see Charles Durning back when he looked young. And overall, I really like the film. There's a great Bernard Herrmann score that goes off into wild directions when crazy things happen on screen. And yeah, I thought it was a really great, tight, very enjoyable, very thrilling suspense movie, a forgotten gem perhaps, and one that I would recommend very highly.